In this HTML video, we're going to be talking about classes and divs. So here we have a nice little website, simple H1 heading. Then we have an image for our logo. Then we have 3 products separated by section tags. So one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to change the size of this logo. And we can do it a couple different ways. First, let's give it a class and let's give it a descriptive name of logo. So since we named it a class up there, we're going to do dot. So dot is related to class. And then put the name of it. And then let's give it a width. Let's say 6 rem. That can be, sure. That looks decent. Now, we're not going to have a bunch of logos on our website. It's only going to be one logo. So because we're going to only have one logo, a better thing to do is to name it an ID. So an ID is a very unique identifier. Now notice it changed size back to what it was. It's because now it's an ID. And if I want to get to an ID in my HTML, I have to do a # or a hashtag. So a dot is for classes, and a hashtag is for an ID. Now, let's say I want to change the look of this product right here. So I want to give it like a nice little background, make it stand out. I'm going to name it product because I don't have a bunch of different products. So I'm going to do dot product since it's a class. And let's give it a background of, let's just do light blue for now. So there we go, light blue background. Now, I could go to this and I could make like product 2 and then like product 3 and product 4 and so on. But because I want them basically all to look the same, because I want my website to be designed very well and look very flowing and everything, I'm going to name them all product. And as you can see, it automatically takes on the stylings that I already put in place. So that saves a lot of time. So they all have that same background. Now, one thing that we can do is we can make one of these kind of stand out compared to the rest of them. So we can actually give it another class name. We can give multiple class names and they're separated by spaces. So I can do another class name and I can do dot feature and I can do a background of, let's say, teal. Now, what we notice is nothing happened. But if I take this and I put it down below, now you'll see that it stands out. So the question is, why is that? Well, CSS is cascading style sheets. So it reads it from the top and it cascades down. So whatever the last one is will take precedence. And since this one has both product and feature, feature comes last, so it's going to do the teal. So it can have multiple classes. Maybe a better thing to do, I don't know. There's only going to be one feature on our website. So I could give it an ID of feature instead of 2 classes. Now, notice that nothing changed over here or went back to what it, like how the rest of them are, is because now this is an ID. So you have to change this to a #. So when it's a #, it's for IDs. So now the feature is going to override whatever the class is. Not all the stuff, but just the stuff that are alike. So they both have background in them. So this one's going to overwrite the product. So IDs always have a higher precedence than class. They trump them. Now I can put it at the bottom. I can put it at the top. And it doesn't matter because it's an ID. So classes, if you want to have a bunch of elements that have the same styling, use classes and you can have a bunch of them. But when you have IDs, you can only have one of those types. So if I have an ID of logo, I can't use ID logo anywhere else in my code. Let's take a look at a quick example here of a website that uses this. So if I come down here, all these look like they're the same. So let's see if they have similar style. So here are each of the items and the classes that they all have. They all have item, non-add, and site WSJ. So they actually have 3 different classes. As we go down, this one's a little bit different. It's a paid one, as you can see here, a paid program. So it has a little bit different styling. It's still considered an item, so it's going to have probably the same size. But now that it's an editor pick and it's an ad, it's going to look a little bit different. It also has an ID. And then if we go down here, item, non-ad, but now this one says Site Market Watch and Hamilton. This was Site Mansion and Hamilton. So let's take a look at these ones. So here's the one that says Site Market Watch. And as you can kind of see, it has this Market Watch down here. The other ones don't. And this one has a Mansion Global, and that's probably what the Site Mansion does. And then these both have Hamilton. And if we just kind of compare it to the ones above, there's this Independent of the Wall Street Journal newsroom. Maybe it adds that in. I don't know. But multiple classes, only one ID. And that is a basic overview of classes and IDs.